we'll just have one cargo container for now. And also you want to try and keep the ship relatively compact. So, with that on, let's place on a couple of large atmospheric thrusters. Let's make sure we line up these the right way. So we'll put one there and another one here, because we want to have plenty of lift. Then we're going to need at least one battery. Place the first one here. Now I want this offset back behind the cockpit, because otherwise we're not going to be able to place our thrusters on properly. So if we place it here, just offset one block from the cargo container, and this gives us clearance for attachment points for thrusters both at the front and at the rear, which it'll be very handy. So then we can place our reversing thrusters on here. We can build 3 or 4 or 5 of them. Let's go with 5. Then we can go around this side, and on the sides place 4 in that direction, 4 out in this direction, and then finally we can place 5 forward thrusters as well. And as you can see, these are all able to connect straight onto the core of the ship. We don't need any armor blocks to help them. Actually, let's do 5. So let's do it this way. So, that's all our thrust sorted out. Then we can attach some gyroscopes. We can put these on the sides here, but that might be a little bit delicate. Let's pop them down here. They're a bit out of the way and less likely to get knocked and cause our whole ship to explode. We can then add a couple of small reactors. There are connector ports on this connector. There are conveyor ports on this connector on each side, so we can attach a small reactor on each one. Power will be a little bit of a problem for this ship, and I'll show you an upgraded design when we're finished. But this I see as kind of a starter welder ship. It's a bit more than the bare minimum, but it's still relatively cheap to make. We're going to want an antenna so that we don't lose this thing. So we can pop that on the front here. And then we've got everything we need. So we'll just weld this up. Then I can show you this thing loaded up and see how much better it is than having to weld up everything by hand, particularly when you're building bases. While I'm welding this up, you might be wondering, why not a remote controlled ship? Well, the main reason for that from my point of view is that third person is a much easier way to control this ship in small spaces than using cameras on a remote